Hello, welcome to the Thankful Palette. My name is Tracy Herbner, and tonight we're going to be learning how to use some round brushes. As you can see, I have many different sizes. They come in many different sizes. Sorry for the visual interruption. Here's just some samples that I drew, or I should say painted, that we're going to be painting. We're going to do some common brush strokes that could be used in many pictures. And many designs. So let's get started. Okay. Make sure you can see. So let's get started with our commas tonight. And we're going to just take any color paint, and again I'm just using a mixed media palette to practice on. Feel free to use this, or if you have a canvas that you want to use or a piece of wood around, anything that you want to use will be fine. And let's just move our little sign here. So I'm just taking some basic craft paint and a paper plate and putting some down. I am going to start, I'm going to use probably a number 4 brush today, which is this one right here. And what you want to do is you make sure you get your brush wet and then tap it off on a paper towel to get the excess water out. And then you're going to want to load your brush. And how you're going to load your brush is just go kind of like back and forth. You want to make sure that you get plenty of paint in the brush. If not, when you're doing this, you'll run out of paint when you're doing your strokes. Okay, so basically all we're going to do is start on your tip and push down, and essentially you're letting your brush do your work and pull up back to your tip like that. And what I suggest doing is again, just take a piece of paper, even if it's just a sheet of plain copy paper, and practice this. That's the best way to get your strokes down. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple. And the smaller the brush, the smaller your strokes will be. The bigger the brush, the bigger the strokes will be. And I'm having just a little bit of an issue seeing you guys. Let me just refresh my page quick in case anybody has any questions. So again, just start at the tip, push down, kind of turn your brush, and pull up. Hello, Kimberly. Hello, Patty. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. All right, so let's just do a couple more of these commas. And basically, all you're doing is making a comma shape. And then our next shape we're going to make is an S shape. So what we're going to do is, for the S shape, you're going to start on your tip, push down, and go down, and come back up. And you'll see where I have pressure, your lines will be thicker, and where you start to pull up, you won't have as much. So let's just like so. So again, start on the tip, pull down, and pull up. And essentially you're making little S shapes there. And I apologize if anybody's dropping anything in the comments, because for some reason I'm not being able to see them on my computer, but if I don't get them back up here, I will answer anything after we're finished. So as you could see, you just start on the tip, and you can kind of see there where I didn't have as much pressure, and then I put more pressure, and then less pressure. Okay, and then so we have the comma shape that you could do with a round brush. We have your S shape, and then let's something very basic. Let's do some dots, and again, just different dots. So the more you press down, the bigger the dot or the oval is going to get. The less pressure you put, the smaller. And the bigger the brush, obviously the bigger the dot you'll get. The smaller the brush, the smaller the dot that you'll get. Okay. And then we have something called what I would call a freestyle, and basically that's just something like this, where you're going like this. And you would use these type of strokes in some ocean pieces and different pieces like that. Maybe with some bushes and some different types of grass, you might do something like this. So basically that's just squiggly lines. And then the more you do this, the more practice, and you'll see, you can see I was running out of paint there, and that's what's happened. That's why it's important to load your brush like that. Okay. And then some other things that you could do here is, and I'm gonna just change out to some green paints because we're gonna show you how to do some grass blades. So again, just make sure if you switch colors, you either wash your brush out or grab a different brush. And some common grass shapes is going to be just like that. This would be great for palm trees, to make palm trees in different shapes of trees, starbursts, fireworks. Again, and that's all you do. The longer your stroke, you can make some leaves. And your tip, and you can see the more I press, the thicker the lines get. And then something else that you could do is something called dry brushing. So you're going to want to make sure that you have no water in your brush, and you're just going to go, and you can see that's just kind of using what is in the brush itself, just using the paint itself. anybody's out there watching, if you could give me some hearts so I know that you're there. I am having some technical difficulties with my computer here, and I'm not able to see if anybody is joining me or if you have any questions. So if you do, if you give me some hearts, then I'll be able to see it on my phone here, and I'll know that that somebody's out there and that it's working all right. I would appreciate that. Okay. So you can see again there are just some different techniques. We have the comma up top. We have the S shape. We have some dots, the freestyle, and then we also have, like, we could use grass blades or starbursts and such, and then the dry brushing technique, which you would use for different things. So now I want to show you how to put this together a little bit with a few pieces. And I just want to back up and show you something that I painted, and then I'm going to show you how to do this yourself. But let me just turn back a page here. So you can see here what I did was this was the comma stroke. Here was just the line like we did with the grass using some lettering. Again, some more lines and some just strokes there, and some various dots and squiggles like freestyle and stuff. So now let's show you how to put that together. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, let's throw some yellow in there, so just to change the color up a little bit. Let's make some of those flowers. Alright, so we're going to start with just like a little dot in the middle, and then all we're going to do is some C strokes. You could make roses this way and all sorts of flowers. Again, the more you put in here, the bigger it'll get. I'm hoping that color is showing up on the screen for you guys. Okay, so there's just a little flower. And then what you can do is put some leaves in there with that. Going to grab some green. And let's just say you wanted to do what I'm basically doing with my leaves, 2 comma strokes there together, and then just filling them in. So again, I'll just put another one right here. You're just going to do a comma stroke, and you can see I'm putting more pressure, so it's getting bigger, and another one and pulling out. So that's just a way to do a leaf. And then let's go ahead and draw a stem here. I'm going to go ahead and put stems in there, and we'll add the flowers on. So this will be in our background. love to know what's going on here. Okay, and let's go back to our purple just because that shows up pretty good on the paper. And then all we're gonna do is go back in here and let's start at the top. So I'm just starting on the tip and pushing up. Again, this is just a sort of a we're not quite doing the comma shape with this, but basically you're just going in and starting on the tip and pulling up. And the more you fill in, the thicker the flower will be. So we're adding a little bit of a comma, somewhat of an S shape in here. And I want it a little bit thicker on the bottom, so we're doing it a little bit thicker down here. And by doing the green in the background, then it appears as the grass or the stems are coming up from behind it. And it's really just about layering. You could actually go back in and add a different color, so on top of the purple, just to give it to some dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yeah, let's just add a little bit of white in there. And again, I'm just not pressing as hard, just to give the flowers just a little bit more detail in there. You could use a smaller brush for this if you wanted. I'm just kind of sticking with the same brush and giving it not as much pressure. And again, I'm kind of using some of them are an S shape and some of them are just the comma shape. So you could see learning about the different brushes and the different techniques that you could do with each brush just takes your painting to a new level. Okay, so there we have that. All right, so now let's just go to some basic leaves here. And we're going to go to this side and then we'll put the words in the middle. Basically all I'm going to do is take my green and just go up like this and maybe add some branches there. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'll take the purple just because it shows up the best. And I'm just going to do this on the side here so you can see. I'm basically just going to take my brush and go like that. So basically it sort of looks like a V shape. And that's just making little flowers on top of each stem. And again, if I want to add a little bit of white in there, I could just come in there and highlight a little bit. Like that. Okay. And let's just show you another leaf here. So basically this is just a leaf. You start on the tip, you push down and turn, and then pull up. And you could certainly do a leaf just like that, or you can join two of them together like this. Oops, and my hand kind of slid there, so let's just fix that. So that's a leaf. Okay, and then let's show you another flower that you could do. Alright, so let's take the purple. And basically you're going to start on the tip and go down and push down and pull up. And again, just go around like that. Just keep doing that. And then you could come in with another color on top of that. Let's take the yellow. And maybe we'll come in between here. Like that. And I didn't bring any brown to my table, but I'll just take a little bit of green and make just a little bit of a center there. Again, I'm just using dots, but my paint's pretty wet. So, and you can always come down like that. Oops. Telling you to load your brush and I'm not loading my brush. Like this. And then you could add your grass. You can see where I'm doing it a little bit thicker. It just gets a little bit darker. Okay, so let's do some words. And for our sample, I did faith, hope, and love. And I think we'll stick to the same thing. So, let's go ahead. Let's start with faith. And we'll do it in purple. So there's different styles, different handwritings out there. You could Google or Pinterest different fonts and everything like that, for sure, and get a whole different slew of things. For tonight, I'm just going to use this. So you basically, when you want thinner lines, you're going to want to stay on your tip. When you want the brush to do the work and get it thicker, then you're going to want to kind of flatten it out. So let's just take, see how I did that. And the key is making your brush wet. So just and you can see how I'm constantly going back for paint, so each letter has enough paint on the brush. And you can see where I was pressing down. So here I was not pressing as hard. On these letters I was, so I was getting thicker lines. So that's what you want to practice. And the more you practice, the better you'll get. And these days, I think we could use some faith, some hope, and our last word, love. And if we do, we will get through whatever it is we are going through as a country and as a society. Okay. So, let's switch me some now upside down. All right, so there you have it, using some round brushes. Like I said, I wasn't able to see any of the comments tonight, so I'll go back in and see if there is any, and certainly answer any questions. Feel free to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching this tonight, and spread some love. Until next time, thanks and have a great night.